Hey guys, tonight we traverse a moonlight path few dare to walk. Imagine you're stepping outside under a night sky so radiant. Those old, starving for Wi-Fi nights don't stand a chance, but I'm not promising you'll survive the lure of moon-guided Maori secrets. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Let us know where you're tuning in from and what the time is your way. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Feel the night wrap around you as you step outside. An ancient dance begins. You look up. The moon, your guiding star, whispers tales older than time. Silver beams reach down, painting shadows on olden paths. Historians still argue whether the Maori first walked these ethereal trails or merely dreamed them into existence. Yet here you are, guided by the moon's hand, connecting the dots between then and now. The Maori's moon-infused knowledge. Imagine their elders tracing lunar secrets with fingers, pointing children to constellations, weaving through tailies. They say those olden ancestors could read skies we wouldn't recognize today, could find tomorrow in a single moonrise. Here's a quirky fact. Some fringe experts think moon phases could even whisper your destiny if you learn to listen. As the lunar rhythm quickens, you almost see them, a procession under a sky bursting with more than just 1,000 twinkling stars. They believed their ancestors journeyed here, celestial beings dancing with each crescent phase. And if you're skeptical, remember that crocodile dung sunscreen isn't an urban myth of ancient times, but tonight's secret, a dance guided by lunar hands, isn't about burnt skin. It's about the subtle pulse of time dictating plantings, silent whispers. Experts think, they really do, that our ancestors tuned planting seasons by this very pulse. Each moonrise a new chapter. As you breathe in that cool night air, understand how moon phases marked their calendars. Full moons promised harvests, new moons whispered planting times, an eternal cycle visible for anyone brave enough to look. But did they map stars themselves, or simply trust the light? Moon whispers weave through the dark, ancient patterns merging with tonight's glow. You step lighter now, each footfall echoing through eons. Historians still argue whether lunar gardens or celestial symbols came first. But standing here, under this very moonlight, did that really matter? Each shadow knows stories. Each sliver of light guides pathways unseen. As the moon rises, you're transported. Remember that dance of celestial markers. Those were no mere carvings. With every phase, whispers grew louder, full moons promising blooms, while waning phases foretold dormancy. Each gardener understood this rhythm, a silent beat guiding seeds into Earth's tender embrace. And here you are, moonlit shadows your only guide, breathing with worlds before and beyond your night skies. Some say ancient cultures relied purely on lunar rhythms, while others debate the complexity. Perhaps they wove sun paths with moon tides too. As you take another deep breath, the night stretches, the moon pulls you closer. Feel those ancient whispers guide you. See how a simple lunar calendar sustained entire peoples, connected tribes, synchronized worlds. Tonight, perhaps you'll glimpse those silver trails. Maybe you'll dance with shadows yourself. Find that rhythm in moon-infused steps. Because here, under this cosmic canopy, time becomes fluid. Seasons, too, pulse with that secret cycle, every phase vital. Did those gardeners really know, what lay beneath their moon's tender gaze? Or did they discover each promise, each peril, through silvered whispers alone? The cool breeze carries those olden melodies as you stand, eyes lifted. Every moon phase, those bright whispers guided a people, a land, a time long past, yet palpably eternal. Today's scholars still puzzle over specific rituals, but perhaps tonight's true moon holds answers. Because here, beneath starglow, time folds and breathes, and you stand, part of this ancient narrative beneath an endless sky. Moonrise promises secrets tonight, each beam, a word, each shadow, a step. You might find yourself entranced, wondering if the Maori elders simply glanced, or fully submerged in this cosmic dance. Their gardens, their lives, intertwined with lunar phases, are now yours to trace. Maybe you won't uncover all truths tonight, but with each whisper, each moonlit gaze, you come closer, closer to ancient feet, tracing lunar paths. So stand here, where modern night meets cosmic lore, and let that olden rhythm seep in. Every moon phase you watch from now will echo with their whispers, their knowledge, their sacred garden pulses. As the moonlight stretches, so too does their legacy, alive, breathing, guiding one moon, one secret at a time. And somewhere, an elder smiles, knowing their dance continues in each whispered moonglow. As the final syllables settle, feel the night pulse under your breath. Whispers fade into your core, not just Maori echoes, but a global rhythm. Moonlit ancestors, celestial bonds, starlight wisdom, it's all woven together. Tonight, you hold that rhythm, that secret. Let the light guide you back. Tomorrow's moon will beckon with new promises. Stay here with night's embrace, tracing stories olden and new. Each moonrise isn't just stars, but the pulse of generations, guiding, guarding, promising. So walk softly, dreamer, as you return from this silver dance. Tomorrow's secrets await, woven in moonlight and guided by timeless whispers. And until next journey, under these cosmic hands, good night. You stand where Polynesian voyagers first touched these shores, their canoes slicing through the Pacific's embrace. The moon wasn't just a compass for these explorers. It was kin, a guide whispering to the stars above. Picture their arrival, canoes bobbing silently as moonlight spilled across waves, illuminating paths only the night could hold. Here, every lunar phase became part of the map, and the Maori quickly wove their destinies with the moon's silvered thread. Picture this, under vast expanses of starlit sky, where you could lay outstretched and almost grasp the Milky Way. The Maori didn't just feel the moon's rhythm, they danced with it. Moonbeams became their storytellers, celestial guides narrating the rhythm of nature's cycle. How did they know which nights would bring storms? By reading the moon's whispers in the tides and wind. Did you know that Maori lunar traditions stretch back even earlier than their migration? Historians still argue whether Polynesian navigators used moon shadows or star patterns as their celestial compass. Perhaps it was a little of both. Imagine ancient elders, their voices a low hum of ancestral wisdom beneath a waxing moon. They read tides, tracked constellations, and noted when flowers would bloom under lunar phases. Every full moon wasn't just a celebration, it was knowledge passed down. Each tale rooted in the land they now honored. Here's something peculiar. Certain tribes believed the moon controlled not just the harvest, but their dreams. They would sleep facing the moon's light to invite prophetic visions. Think about that, an entire culture gazing upward, seeking guidance from both the earth and the cosmos. Today, we might look to phones glowing in the dark or screens casting artificial light, but can a pixel bring the wisdom a silver moon once could? As you wander under starlight, imagine those first Maori journeys. Their canoes sailed with both the moon's light and its shadows guiding them. The waxing crescent might have whispered of storms, while the full moon spoke of safe harbor. Moon phases weren't just phases to them, they were chapters of their survival. Historians still argue whether each lunar phase commanded different rituals or simply mirrored agricultural cycles. Yet in their gardens, each crop held secrets known to few. Each lunar phase carried its own rhythm here. The moon's glow was a silent partner in each garden's tale, a guide for seeds knowing just when to break the soil's surface. You step into these ancient grounds, feeling the timeless pull of celestial roots. The night air wraps around you like a silken cloak, inviting whispers of ancestral wisdom. Even the smallest fern or shrub held stories told by the moon's silent song. Perhaps you might chuckle thinking about how we'd look planting by the moon today. Modern agronomy, with spreadsheets and climate models, might scoff, but pause. Didn't your grandma have that plant peas by the full moon or else mantra? Traditions may not be scientific, but sometimes old wisdom carries truth science is still decoding. As you navigate moonlight shadow and glow, feel the ancients dance steps beneath your feet. Their gardens, their homes flourished under the same moon that guides you. From moonrise to twilight's end, their lives ebbed and flowed with lunar rhythms. These rhythms weren't just background music, they were life's very pulse. So, under the same moon, take a stride, feel ancient footprints guiding yours. You may find the moon's pull on plants quirky, like a gardener chatting to tomatoes. But consider this fringe gem. Some say the moon's phases still influence modern crop yields. An old myth, perhaps, but as gardeners under her glow can attest, sometimes science meets serendipity, where the soil and sky converse. Under the moon's watchful eye, their gardens thrived, each blossom echoing eons past. The Maori didn't merely follow the moon. They became part of her cycle, their stories interwoven like vines in moonlit gardens. Here, the soil held secrets, and the moonlight whispered plans. Can you feel their whispers mingling with night's soft breath? In their moon dances and star songs, the Maori found both time's pulse and life's rhythm. As the moon waxed and waned, so did their gardens. Imagine the thrill of watching each phase unfold, each turn heralding new life or harvest ripe. You step softly, knowing ancient rhythms still echo in moon's light. How many seeds found their beginnings under the same sentinel sky? A quiet dance, moon and gardener, night after night, an embrace that shaped centuries. What secrets still lie buried, only to be unearthed by modern diggers of history? As moonlight spills over the land, you're not just a visitor, you're a participant in an ancient ritual, guided by whispers of celestial echoes. So, listen close as the moon unfolds its timeless secrets, each phase a chapter in your own story now. Feel that ancient connection with every step under moon's watch. You walk beneath the moon's silver glow, its presence not merely a witness, but a guide through the eons. The Maori saw stories in the night sky, where each shadow held lessons in farming, hunting, and survival. Imagine the first glimpse of the Southern Cross after sunset, a constellation that danced with lunar whispers, marking the rhythm of seasons as surely as a wristwatch on someone's wrist today. The moon's phases spoke to crops, guiding the Maori's gardening calendar. When the moon was new, planting began, hidden seeds waiting for her fullness. Under a waxing crescent, seedlings sensed it was time to stretch. The moon's gentle pull invited roots to dig deeper, much like a mother coaxing a child from the safety of bed. Historians still argue whether Polynesian navigators relied more on the moon's phases or the constellations to plot their journey. You consider that perhaps it was the intertwining web of celestial signs that painted the true map. Beneath a gibbous moon, young warriors once trained, believing their strength mirrored the moon's growing size. Is it any wonder that gardens, too, responded to this shared rhythm? Fascinating thought. Some Maori legends claimed they could summon rains under a waning gibbous moon. Did they really possess such mysterious power? Or was it just a keen reading of nature's signs? When clouds gathered, they'd celebrate, saying the moon was sharing her own water back to earth. Next time it rains, perhaps you'll catch yourself gazing up, thinking you're borrowing a leaf from a celestial gardener's book. Beneath the glow of a full moon, harvesting began, a time when the light seemed to hold crops and hands alike. You imagine elders instructing young ones, their tones tinged with reverence. Each crop spoke a language passed through generations. Those who knew how to listen didn't require fancy weather apps. They had centuries of lunar wisdom. As moonlight traces shadows in your garden, you smile at how those whispers are still part of our stories. Modern science has even observed that moonlight impacts soil moisture retention, bridging ancient knowledge with today's tech. How poetic that both old chants and modern sensors echo the same tune. Each waning phase brought preparation for rest. As the moon shrank, gardens were tended, soil was turned, and next season's blessings were invoked. The Maori saw the cycle not just in the earth, but in their own lives, each phase of existence tied to the moon's gentle embrace. One quirky belief: some tribes thought moon shadows could speak of a harvest's health. They would spread nets beneath specific shadows during a waning quarter moon, believing them to trap future prosperity. Would these ancient shadow catchers raise an eyebrow at our stock market forecasts? Walking paths where moonlight pooled long ago, you sense that sacred connection, still alive. The Maori knew that the moon wasn't just a distant light, but a celestial gardener tending to the world's rhythms, every phase a chapter, every harvest a story. With each step and moonlit breath, you're drawn into that enduring cycle, an endless dance of earth and cosmos. The Maori moon, gardeners read time in celestial whispers, not wristwatches. Picture a world where the harvest moon dictated schedules, its fullness marking planting seasons with infallible accuracy. Each crater and shadow became a paragraph in a cosmic story, with lessons encoded in light patterns only visible at night. Modern astronomy confirms what was once tribal truth. Moonlight intensity does fluctuate with phases, but the Maori took this further. They observed subtle changes through seasonal windows, discerning minute luminescence shifts that no telescope could. This extrasensory perception became a tactile wisdom passed from elder to novice. You chuckle at our contemporary gadgetry. What would a Maori cedar make of our Bluetooth soil gauges and hydroponics trackers? Yet even now, our smart sensors align unsettlingly close with old Maori planting windows. Their lunar calendar was so fine-tuned that contemporary farmers in New Zealand still consult it. The Maori understood growth as fluid, not fixed, a river winding through time. They'd mark certain routes with ochre at half-moon stages, claiming this connected crops to lunar nodes for boosted fertility. Historians still argue whether this pigment ritual was pure symbolism or carried deeper metaphysical purpose. But imagine this: ancient Maori gardens produced such bounty that some tribes held moon-planted harvest festivals, attributing their overflow directly to lunar alignment. If skepticism rises like an eyebrow, remember NASA confirmed in the 1960s that the moon's gravitational force truly does affect Earth's tides and soil moisture. Ancient rhythm still governs modern route as waxing gibbous light filters through dense ferns. You recall Maori farmers crouching in pre-dawn shadows. No mechanical tillers here. Their hands danced along topsoil, feeling subtle density shifts that indicated hidden root growth stages better than any tiller blade ever could. Is our reliance on machinery actually making us lazier. Fringe belief. Some elders claimed certain root vegetables grew sweeter if planted under Jupiter's full aspect. They chart planetary alignments alongside lunar phases, insisting crops thrived in specific cosmic crossfire. Though some scholars dismiss this as myth, others point out that Polynesian navigators' wayfinding precision still baffles modern science. So who's actually the primitive? The Maori lunar seeders knew that time wasn't linear, but cyclical, as one elder whispered while spreading kumara under a waning crescent. Each seed carries within it all seasons past, present, future. Let the moon choose when it will bloom. They didn't plant against the clock. They harmonized with its pulse. While strolling a modern supermarket produce aisle, you marvel at how our ancestors lacked climate-controlled warehouses and neon signage. Yet, they somehow still perfected crop selection, and all under silver moonlight. Their lunar clock's wisdom isn't just historical curiosity. It remains alive for those willing to harvest its ancient glow. Your garden now blooms not just under sunlight. Something in you aligns with their moon-nurtured ways. Roots here trace back to shadowed wisdom. You've become the new gardener of an old story, under a sky that whispers in Maori rhythms. We walk together through time, a timeless dance, echoing moon paths and garden pulses as the cosmos continues its eternal embrace. You saunter along paths worn by countless feet before yours, each step a connection to ancient ground. Beneath the shimmering dome of night, Maori ancestors watched their crops drink from the lunar glow. Each moon phase wasn't just a celestial stage, but a heartbeat dictating garden cycles. You see it now, the soil's dark richness cradles roots wrapped in silver mist, moonlight pooling over them like liquid time. New moon's darkness brought quiet reflection, roots whispering secrets, invisible but present. But as the moon swelled, so did activity. When the waxing crescent first appeared, it was a signal time to stir, prepare, sow. Modern science tells us the moon affects Earth's tides, but Maori wisdom saw those same pulses reflected in soil. During crescent phases, you feel a slight pull, a beckoning from the earth, tendrils of energy coaxing seeds to break through night-soaked soil. You sense them stretching toward that sliver of light, roots anchoring stories in the dark cradle. A whisper floats back to you. The first quarter moon balance, growth, stability. Did Maori elders trace patterns, perhaps, in the soil's texture as it softened under that half-illumined beacon? Who knows what secrets they gleaned from watching roots align with lunar angles, shadows carving wisdom into the dirt. You pause under a full moon, its brightness flooding the landscape. This is the Maori's festival time, harvest celebrations. But historians still argue whether roots planted under full moonlight yield more abundant blooms next cycle, or the celebrations not just thanks, but an intentional alignment with future fertility. Remember the old tailies, yes, the quirky ones. Some tribes would sing songs to the Pleiades while planting sweet yams, Perhaps it was mere ritual, or perhaps, who can say, maybe the vibrations of melody in soil helped young shoots dance closer to the surface. Look to a waning gibbous when the earth starts to breathe inward again. This is the Maori's time for pruning, shaping, and preparing. When moon shadows lengthen, so too does reflective contemplation. The gardener's hands slow, understanding that cycles are not linear. They pulse, retreat, then surge anew. You chuckle quietly, thinking how we modern folk rush through darkness with flashlights and screens, blinding ourselves to rhythms that still hum beneath. But here, under the Maori sky's watchful wink, you trust the moon's cadence again. The soil below your feet pulses softly. Maybe today's roots are whispering back to those grown under similar twilights 500 years hence. Crop cycles follow the moon's rhythmic pull. Each phase nurtures different life stages. The Maori new soil's heartbeat synced directly to silver nightlight. Roots flourish under the crescent, gather strength under its bloom, share fruits under fullness, and rest under its wane. A never-ending celestial dance. Let your fingertips curl around the dirt, sensing those ancestral traces. Can you feel the moon's ancient whispers mingling with the earth's hums? Some might call it folklore. Others argue for science, still unraveling. Does it matter why it works? Or only that it has cycle after timeless cycle? So you carry forth a gardener under the Maori's celestial guide, roots planted in both ground and story. The moon, your faithful compass, maps seasons onto shadow-soft nights. As its glow melds time and soil, your own garden breathes the cadence of legends, a pulse felt across epochs, connecting worlds under the same starry vault. The night's tapestry unfurls, revealing blooms that only emerge under the moon's watchful eye. You find yourself drawn to the garden's nocturnal secrets, where tikoi, or moon vine, shimmers faintly in the darkness. Historians may argue whether its petals really glow with inherent light. But one thing's certain, these blooms only stretch their delicate petals when night fully embraces the earth. You watch as moonlight kisses the tikoi vine. Its silver glow awakens a dance of phosphorescent petals only revealed in moonlight's caress. This vine's nocturnal rhythm isn't just beautiful, it's a puzzle. Some old Maori texts hint tikoi only reveals itself when ancestors want to whisper through the soil again. Maybe it's poetic metaphor, maybe a quirky truth still unraveled. Every gardener knows how fragile night bloomers are, yet the Maori trusted the moon to guide their delicate unfolding. You peer through the shadows, noticing the contrast. Sunflowers bask, while moonlight ones whisper. Some researchers claim moonlight blooms release different fragrance molecules, influencing more than just smell. Are these vines a hidden lunar pharmacy? Perhaps a mystery for modern science to untangle. You remember hearing about a controversial claim from one botanist. They argued nocturnal blooms are the result of ancient evolutionary adaptations. Did pre-human gardeners already know this when they noticed these moon whispers? Fringe ideas often turn into breakthroughs in unexpected ways. After all, as you lean closer, you catch a whiff of night jasmine mingling with the tea koi's subtle musk. Its scent carries stories of lovers meeting under full moons, or maybe spies exchanging messages. You chuckle imagining cloak and dagger, moonlit trysts unfolding around these bushes, the scent serving as a natural mask. But historians still argue whether these night blooms had practical use beyond sheer romance. Experts think, how did the Maori's connection with these night-blooming species shape their medicinal practices? Certain roots may only absorb moon's nutrients under specific lunar angles. No one's certain, but those who walk the gardens at twilight swear they can hear nature's lullaby in its rustling leaves. Each step forward reveals more petals awakening under your gaze. You think of how modern botanists might poke fun at the idea of glow-in-the-dark vines until they discover the genes that make it possible. Fringe theories hold kernels of wisdom when left to ponder long enough. You wonder how many overlooked plants hold similar tailies. Under the silver canopy, koi vines and their friends quietly demonstrate how moon whispers influence more than just planting seasons. The Maori understood this silent orchestration, using it to compose nature's symphony. Each flower, a note struck only at night's command. Whether through science or lore, who blooms under the moon is just as fascinating as how they flourish. As your gaze lingers on the last glowing petal, the night around you seems to hold its breath. These nocturnal residents whisper connections between moon, time, and soil stories that continue beyond what mere light reveals. You can't help but feel a part of their timeless song. The night around you breathes, whispers through the rustling leaves, a melody composed by the celestial dance above. You remember koi vines and their moonlit symphony, a silent orchestration the Maori once mastered. Tonight, you search for more echoes, for carvings left by those who read the stars. Stone markers emerge under the silver moonlight, carved symbols that mirror the moon's own phases. Your fingers trace their grooves, imagining hands that once did the same. Each etching tells a story, not just of time's passage, but of wisdom's embrace. Historians still argue whether these carvings were maps for the stars or messages to ancestors. We know Maori wayfinders navigated vast oceans using stars' whispers. But what of these stone echoes? Perhaps they held both, cradling travelers' guidance in ancient whispers. Some elders mention that specific moon cycles demanded planting or harvest silence. The debate remains whether this was pure ritual or an environmental necessity, nature's warning echoing through symbols. One quirky legend speaks of carvings that glowed under the eclipse, guiding tribes to sacred sites with light invisible under the sun. These markers hold knowledge in angles and arcs. Some shapes echo constellations, while others seem to mimic root systems did the Maori see connections between galactic swirls and earthly growth. You're reminded how modern studies sometimes reveal that ancient wisdom often hinted at complex truths centuries ahead. As you lean closer, the moonlight casts shadows that breathe against the carvings. You feel a pulse here, a rhythm between these symbols and your heartbeat. Was it designed this way? Or is this just poetic imagination? These stones whisper that everything is alive, every curve imbued with sacred meaning. Certain markings appear more often, a symbol like spiraled shells. Experts think spirals represent cycles, life, growth, death, and rebirth. Could these carvings serve as timeless clocks, measuring both skies' dance above and Earth's slumber below? The ocean's waves beyond might mirror moon's pull as well, completing this intricate web. Modern scientists have found stone engravings on multiple islands, but historians debate whether these symbols are universal or regional dialects of celestial language. Every tribe may have personalized its own star maps, each culture weaving unique stories into their cosmic libraries. You pause to admire a particularly complex etching, one that seems to echo the Milky Way. Some think the Maori observed dark spaces within constellations as much as starlit ones. These negative spaces guided them as much as bright trails. Was this ancient astronomy or ancestral artistry? Your mind wanders to carvings found near sacred planting sites, where each moon phase shaped planting seasons. Some symbols mimic crop roots, others align to celestial paths. Historians still argue whether these were agricultural guides or spiritual meditations. Perhaps they embodied both knowledge and faith woven from the same thread. Beneath your fingers, the carved patterns tell not just of lunar phases, but of Earth's own rhythms. Some markers indicate water tables hidden beneath, echoing soil secrets revealed by celestial tides. Can the placement of a simple star really predict underground rivers waiting silently? How did these ancients map hidden worlds using a sky's silent symphony? One quirky researcher claimed some markers could even forecast volcanic activity by aligning with distant horizon points. Wild idea, right? Yet fringe often nudges the boundaries of our understanding closer. If our ancestors read skies and stones with such precision, what mysteries still await rediscovery? The cool stone under your touch speaks more than words ever could. Maori ancestors may have seen these carvings as the universe's poetry, lines etched in both earth and sky. Your footsteps echo their whispers as you walk further into moon's silent embrace. The moon continues its journey across the night sky, and with each subtle shift in its light, the carvings reveal new layers of meaning. A soft rustle nearby stirs you out of your reverie. You're not alone in understanding these silent tales. The world around you thrums with the resonance of a connection spanning lifetimes, celestial whispers bound in stone and soil alike. In this timeless dance, you've stepped into the rhythms of night and stone, feeling the pulse of both moon and memory beneath your fingertips. You know that somewhere nearby lies another secret waiting to rise under silver light, another story whispering just for you. The harvest moon above begins its slow waltz, its familiar light guiding your steps. Silver tendrils weave through trees, casting a gentle glow over the waiting fields. The Maori once trusted this very light to signal the time for gathering their bounty. Moonlight, woven into the fabric of their earthly rhythms. You walk amid crops swaying softly, each plant a silent testament to the moon's subtle power. Historians still argue whether the moon's pull merely influenced tides, or if its rhythm governed growth cycles and human activities. Some Maori elders insisted crops harvested under the light of the fullest moon retained sweetness from its silver glow, a quirky tale perhaps, but one that binds the harvester's hand to the sky's ancient embrace. As you pause near the cornstalks, you recall a peculiar legend. Some tribes believed specific moons carried whispers from their ancestors. They claimed these harvest nights echoed with guidance on what to keep, what to share, and what to honor. Did the harvest truly become a bridge between worlds, a celestial pantry overseen by spirits of the earth and sky? The ripe aroma of pumpkins and squash calls you toward the edge of the field where stone markers reappear. You find markings resembling basket weaves and root tendrils, each guiding the steps of ancient gatherers. Experts think these patterns may have reflected which produce carried the moon's blessing. Did planting under a crescent promise endurance, while a full moon assured abundance? The knowledge encoded here still murmurs under the gentle hum of starlight. You pause by a particularly intricate symbol, one elders once associated with seasons of change, neither too cold nor too hot, a perfect balance. Some historians speculate these carvings revealed optimal harvest times. Others debate their connection to celestial events. Fringe thinkers even imagine stones aligning with invisible star networks, orchestrating harvest cycles beyond our current imagination. Whether guidance or mystery, these carved symbols ensured nothing was left to mere chance. As you lean closer, another legend comes to mind of stone etchings that shimmered when touched by lunar tides, signaling readiness for gathering. While modern eyes may see this as mythical embellishment, could there be substance beneath the surface? How much knowledge has been lost since those nights? The carvings beneath your fingertips seem to whisper that the universe works in unseen ways, its rhythms felt rather than simply known. Moving through the quiet, you're drawn toward elder trees whose leaves shimmer under the moon. Maori lore spoke of trees acting as the earth's librarians, holding stories told by cosmic cycles. You wonder, did those silent tailies encode planting after a waxing gibbous, or harvest beneath autumn's equinox sky? The stones suggest so much more beneath their weathered surface, a library of knowledge waiting for the perceptive observer. As a gentle breeze rustles through the stalks, You recall stories of the Rongo festival, a celebration of peace and bountiful harvests held under moonlit skies. The Maori believed lunar light imbued feasts with ancestral presence, blessings mingling with the taste of freshly gathered bounty. You imagine a night alive with drumbeats and laughter, celestial and earthly realms intertwining in a harmonious celebration. Some markings hint at the importance of communal sharing, symbols suggesting roots connected outward to form networks. Historians debate whether carvings mirrored the crop's growth or encoded tribal wisdom about collaboration and sustenance. Could each etched spiral embody the interconnectedness of family, land, and celestial tides? The moon's glow seems to carry hints of these ancient whispers even now. One curious researcher claimed stones at a certain angle could amplify faint lunar whispers, almost like a kind of ancient receiver. While the fringe community relished such theories, mainstream historians remained skeptical. Still, the debate allowed deeper exploration. What if our ancestors held knowledge far beyond modern comprehension? Under silver light, the carvings indeed speak, pulsing with an old wisdom that demands attention. Stones etched with spirals and arcs suggest the Maori might have seen harvest rhythms intertwined with moon phases and cosmic events. Can there truly be a balance between scientific precision and spiritual intuition? Under the moon's cool gaze, both histories and mysteries seem possible, their stories blending into a timeless melody that guides your steps. What harvest tales yet remain unseen in this eternal dance of light and shadow? Beneath your fingertips, the stones whisper more than mere instruction. They offer a sense of belonging, a shared rhythm across time and space. Could simple carvings etched by hand carry the weight of generations? As you walk further, the carvings no longer just symbolize harvest, but a promise kept through cycles of light and dark. The moon standing silent witness over a timeless embrace of life, growth, and community. The fields around you seem alive with echoes, unseen dancers guided by an intricate celestial language. Under the moon's calm watch, you continue your journey, each step a nod to wisdom, both ancient and ever-present. You know somewhere ahead lies another secret patiently waiting for rediscovery, another story ready to unfold under the silvered night sky. The moonlight guides you forward, casting gentle pools of silver that illuminate the path ahead. You feel an energy in the air, an ancient resonance carried by the whispers of countless harvest nights. The moon's glow is more than just light. It's a storyteller, revealing legends and lore hidden within the very soil beneath your feet. As you walk deeper, memories of planting under different moon phases begin to swirl in your mind. The Maori spoke of planting legends, not just tales, but living wisdom that breathed through each cycle of the moon. They planted crops under the new moon for deep-rooted strength, and sowed seeds during the full moon for above-ground growth. Each phase a silent partner in the garden's eternal dance. You remember a quirky debate you once overheard among modern gardeners, whether moonlight genuinely enhanced the flavor of crops. While most laughed it off, elders would solemnly nod, recalling nights where the full moon's glow seemed to infuse sweet potatoes with unparalleled richness. Some even claimed the crescent moon whispered recipes to adventurous souls. Historians, of course, remain skeptical, yet fringe practitioners swear by lunar gardening guides that mix astrology with soil tips. Your footsteps slow as you reach an area where whispers of the past seem particularly strong. Here, you envision Maori elders sharing planting stories beneath glowing full moons. These tales, passed down through generations, weren't just folklore but living lessons. Each story had roots in careful observation of the moon's subtle shifts, its patterns a guidepost written in night sky ink. You pause near an old planting site where the moonlight filters through leaves, casting dappled light over the earth. You recall how the Maori revered special moon cycles that promised bountiful harvests, like during the harvest moon, when extra luminosity allowed for additional planting time. Experts think, but can never quite prove, ancient tribes used this light not just for labor, but for spiritual connection, harvesting with blessings from ancestors. Leaning against an elder tree, you close your eyes and let the serene quiet wash over you. Here, the past feels vivid and present, where every moon cycle wasn't just a time marker, but a living entity that influenced the rhythm of daily life. Some Maori legends spoke of a moon so brilliant it revealed the spirit's footprints in the soil. A whimsical notion, perhaps, but one that beautifully merges the celestial with the terrestrial. A gentle breeze rustles, carrying the scent of earth and old legends. You're reminded how the Maori planted sweet potatoes under specific lunar conditions, a practice still debated today. While some believe it was merely about scheduling, others argue these rituals were deep spiritual practices that honored both land and sky. The exact methods remain a topic of discussion among scholars who argue whether planting phases were more art than science. As the moon continues its quiet watch, you walk from field to field, feeling the ancient rhythms pulse beneath the soil. You think of how each planting legend connected to a phase of the moon, from the dark new moon's promise of new beginnings to the bright full moon's radiant growth. Each tale carried kernels of truth, perhaps, about cycles and timing, blending practical farming with celestial wisdom. You reach a clearing where moonlight bathes everything in a luminous glow. Here, the Maori told stories by the flicker of firelight under the vast tapestry of the night sky. Tales of planting maize after a waxing gibbous moon, or waiting for a waning crescent to sow crops requiring dormancy. These weren't idle stories, but intricate manuals recorded in human memory, passed through generations until they became part of the earth's heartbeat. You sense echoes of voices telling tales of planting potatoes during the moon's waxing phases for enhanced growth, or using a moonlit night's chill to guide timing. While some might dismiss these practices as superstition, the elders spoke of them with reverence, hinting at mysteries still unknown to the modern world. Historians still argue whether these moon-based planting cycles were practical wisdom or spiritual rituals, both, you suspect. Standing beneath the moon's glow, you let the silence absorb you. You can almost hear the murmurs of ancient wisdom, tales passed from grandmother to grandson, each story a thread in the rich tapestry of Maori life. Planting legends aren't just stories, they're a living conversation between past and present, a reminder that, under the moon's watchful eyes, everything is cyclical, eternal, and profoundly interconnected. You turn and walk further, feeling the night's stories pulse around you. Under the moon's calm radiance, you sense an ancient embrace, each step a nod to the wisdom woven into every lunar cycle, each breath a part of the earth's endless song. Somewhere, another secret waits to be uncovered, another legend ready to be relived under the celestial spotlight of the Maori moon's eternal glow. A gentle night breeze stirs the leaves above, ushering in the moon's wisdom as you continue your walk. Tonight, the focus turns to the subtleties of weather forecasting, guided by age-old Maori observations of moon phases. Imagine a time before weather apps, when survival depended on reading nature's silent signals. The full moon wasn't just for storytelling, it was also a predictor. Historians still debate how precisely the Maori interpreted these signs, but the connection between moon glow and weather trends was undeniable. Elders believed that a ring around the moon hinted at rain. Was this mere folklore, or did it come from astute meteorological observations? Experts think there was often more science in these beliefs than modern views acknowledge. As you walk deeper into the grove, think about the practical implications. A halo circling the moon suggested changing weather patterns, prompting tribes to prepare for incoming storms or droughts. This wasn't about superstition, it was about survival. Some skeptics mock the idea, attributing these predictions to coincidence. Yet, fringe studies suggest that certain lunar halos indicate atmospheric conditions favorable for rain. The true precision of these Maori methods remains a topic of heated scholarly debate. You follow an old path lined with moonlit stones, each one a reminder of the deep connection between celestial patterns and earthly needs. When the moon rose particularly red, legends said rain was on its way, nourishing crops parched by long sun. Historians argue whether planting decisions were based more on lunar aesthetics than actual outcomes. But to a Maori gardener, these differences were entwined threads in the same fabric. Your footsteps echo through history as you ponder the practical benefits of such wisdom. Without modern weather tools, the moon provided vital information. Some believed planting under a particularly large moon ensured bountiful harvests, echoing a balance between nature and nurture. The more you learn, the more you appreciate the layers of understanding packed into these simple tailies. As you trace the history of Maori gardens, remember the tale of the old navigator who once used the moonlight to predict a rare, dry period. With no drought coming but fearing a false prediction, he led his tribe to plant in clay soils that could retain extra water. His foresight became legend, blending weather wisdom with keen observation. Was his success sheer luck, or did he interpret the stars in a way we can't replicate today? The debate among experts remains lively. Some see these weather predictions as a primitive form of meteorology, while others believe they were spiritual practices meant to honor celestial bodies. Under the night sky's watchful glow, you feel a mix of wonder and reverence. The Maori didn't just live alongside the moon, they engaged in a continuous conversation, listening for subtle messages whispered through its phases. You pause near an open glade where moonlight spills across the grass, revealing ancient carvings etched into stones, symbols dedicated to their lunar guardian. Historians can't quite decide if they were markers for practical applications or ceremonial rituals. But perhaps the distinction never mattered to those who lived the lore. As you step back onto the well-worn path, you notice how the moonlight feels different now, alive with knowledge. The Maori might have tracked moon phases to understand not just planting, but also broader weather patterns. Did those subtle changes in the moonlight influence tribal decisions or help in seasonal preparations? Both theories hold ground, and the debate among scholars often veers into passionate territory. A rustle in the trees brings you back to the present. The Maori's deep trust in lunar patterns might seem whimsical, but when survival hinged on the next rain or sun's warmth, every indicator was precious. Their weather forecasts via moon study weren't just about avoiding bad weather. They were about understanding the cyclical nature of life itself. Walking quietly, you recall how even early European explorers noted the Maori's uncanny ability to predict weather shifts. They were baffled how the Polynesian people seemed to talk to the moon, drawing secrets from its glow. Was this a skill honed over centuries, or did these explorers merely romanticize foreign wisdom? The exact science behind these weather predictions is still argued, but perhaps that's not the point. The Maori's intimate relationship with their environment shows how interconnected we once were to natural rhythms. As you continue walking, letting the moon's guidance pave your path, you feel a profound connection, one that transcends mere observation and moves into the realm of understanding life's endless cycles. Beneath the moon's luminous embrace, the legacy of ancient weather wisdom endures, each phase a silent guardian of both past knowledge and future possibilities. The Maori's trust in the lunar cycles speaks to a time when humans watched the night sky not for exploration, but for communion. You linger at the edge of a moonlit pond, contemplating how moon phases guided more than just weather and planting. They dictated sacred silence during specific lunar moments. Imagine nights when not a word was spoken while planting, the air pregnant with expectancy. Every culture has its moon legends, but the Maori held certain nights as almost too holy for sound. Historians debate whether these silent planting rites evolved from reverence or practicality. One quirky theory suggests that moonlit soil was believed to retain whispered secrets, influencing future crop whispers. Can you picture elders frowning over root vegetables, thinking them chatty enough? These hushed rituals unfolded during the moon's waxing phase, particularly when she appeared swollen and full. Experts argue whether this linked to celestial aesthetics or perhaps acoustic properties during certain phases. How often do we consider lunar sound science? Right, as you wander further, the path becomes narrower, trees leaning in as if sharing nature's own secrets. In Maori folklore, each moonlit planting held spiritual weight. Some believed that spoken words could disrupt the harmony, leading some modern scholars to speculate if this was an early form of lunar acoustic ecology. Can you imagine telling someone to keep quiet because of moon vibrations? Some nights, the silence would stretch thin as elders whispered into seeds to imbue them with life forces. Historians still argue whether these were purely symbolic or had psychological effects. How much does belief influence crop yield? Walking amid these old traditions, you feel the layers of understanding the Maori held. Recall that old navigator from earlier. His foresight didn't just rely on visible sky signs. Whispered secrets passed during planting silences often led to successful harvests, though modern cynics might call this superstition. Historians still argue whether these silence-bound gardens yielded better thanks to focused intentions or just plain good timing. You stumble upon an old clearing where the night air thickens with legends of silent planting rituals believed to honor Hainui Tipo, the goddess of night. Some even suspect moon phases affected soil conductivity, though that's met with skepticism. As historians dissect ancient wisdom, fringe thinkers still swear that lunar vibrations altered planting success. As the moon dips lower, casting silver shadows across your path, you sense the rhythm of old traditions, whether practical wisdom or spiritual ritual. These sacred silent moments spoke of an intimacy with nature we're only beginning to grasp. The moon's glow dances on the leaves now, as the path takes you deeper into night's whispered embrace. The moon dips further, each beam of light casting tailies from centuries past. Tonight's journey beckons you to understand not just the surface, but the hidden pulses beneath the earth. Imagine soil as a living chronicler, each grain whispering ancient secrets passed down from moonlit planting days. With every step, you're drawn deeper into the world of Maori soil knowledge, its unseen cycles, fertile myths, and moon-kissed lore. Historians still argue whether Maori gardeners could read soil like we read books today. but folklore hints at a profound connection. Picture an elder kneeling beside turned earth, feeling textures and smells that modern science only now begins to understand. They discerned fertility and soil depth long before European agriculture brought plows. Some fringe beliefs held that moon phases made soil speak through subtle visual and scent changes. Think of it as moonlight Morse code for crops. This wasn't mere superstition. The Maori employed soil knowledge with startling accuracy during planting rituals. Moon shadows even influenced how deeply seeds were sown. Historians ponder if these practices resulted from empirical observation or mystical insight. One quirky theory suggests that the moon's gravitational pull altered soil density, affecting Maori planting techniques, a notion modern physics hasn't entirely ruled out. Continue wandering this ancient path, where moonlight caresses the ground like a painter's soft touch. Imagine a landscape where moon cycles weren't just celestial spectacles, but soil calendars. Full moons might signal perfect irrigation conditions or reveal earthworms dance underfoot, tiny, living soil aerators revered in Maori lore. Picture an intricate ballet beneath your feet, where each phase of the moon guided when to nurture and when to step back. The Maori's relationship with soil stretched beyond functionality. It embodied spirituality. Moonlit soil was believed to be imbued with ancestral wisdom, acting as a bridge between realms. Rituals included whispered invocations to earth spirits to bless harvests. And yes, historians are still debating whether this was psychological mojo or actual metaphysical communion. One fringe concept even wonders if lunar cycles amplified natural frequencies in the soil, echoing with ancient chants, a sort of organic memory of song's theory. You find yourself standing amid ancient planting grounds, the moon now high above, casting silver shimmers over old roots. The air vibrates with stories of growers attuning themselves to lunar soil harmony in ways we're only beginning to rediscover today. Was their understanding purely symbolic, or did they tap into genuine earth-moon resonance? That debate continues, wrapped in the same ancestral glow guiding you forward. Continue deeper. The moon shines on secrets of fertile nights where the earth seemed to sigh under the weight of possibility. Whether practical farmer or celestial poet, the Maori understood that beneath our feet lay not just history, but the living promise of growth nurtured by nature's old rhythm. You imagine the laughter of children on these same grounds, echoing wisdom passed from stars to soil, a lineage unbroken by centuries. As your journey extends, the path narrows between ancient trees. The Maori's knowledge of lunar soil patterns often dictated the shape of settlements, ensuring proximity to fertile crescents charged by the night's glow. Historians argue whether these configurations indicate early landscape planning or unconscious adaptation to celestial patterns. One quirky notion suggests that the moon's phases influenced the magnetic alignment of ancient villages, leaving subtle lunar scars on Earth's electromagnetic map. In these sacred spaces, every footprint tells a story. Every shadowed turn reveals echoes of past wisdom. Picture communal rituals where soil was blessed with sacred herbs during moon phases that supposedly increased their potency. Some elders believed this practice harnessed the moon's hidden energies, which skeptics write off as superstition. However, debates continue about whether these enhanced growth due to psychological placebo or actual energy transfer. Could our minds truly shape soil nutrients? Now, pausing beneath a canopy of glimmering leaves, you grasp the depth of lunar earth harmony. Here, beneath the night's gentle spell, the soil whispers wisdom only the moon can reveal. As you reflect, you realize this ancient dance isn't just about farming practices, but a living relationship with the earth itself, a rhythm still pulsating beneath modern times. The moonlight beckons you onward, promising more secrets held in the fertile grip of these ancient gardens, where soil and moon converse in timeless code. As history unfolds, often in mud-coated boots, you find yourself a part of an endless cycle of growth, nurtured by those whispers of wisdom. The moon's glow invites you deeper into this world where the soil's heartbeat and the night's rhythm unite in an eternal embrace. You're drawn further into this nocturnal world where the moonlight is not just a witness, but an active participant in the soil's silent conversations. Imagine stepping into lunar-lit gardens where each seedling's tender leaves seem to cradle the moon's glow like an infant's warmth. In Maori tradition, night plantings embraced seeds beneath that celestial caress, hinting they were believed to grow with vigor. Historical tidbit: did you know some Maori tailies claim the moon once descended into lush valleys to cradle seedlings with its own silvery light? As whimsical as that sounds, some speculate a connection to night planting traditions. But who knows? Maybe they just wanted bedtime stories with more glow-in-the-dark drama. Historians still argue whether moon phases influenced germination rates directly, or if these planting cycles merely followed broader seasonal patterns. But picture this: under a full moon's radiance, an elder softly presses seeds into fertile earth, convinced of lunar blessings. Skeptical modern eyes might see poetic lore, while others find lingering traces of an ancient truth. Fringe theories even whisper that moonlit soil might have magnetic properties, enhancing growth, something NASA scientists might chuckle at. But hey, stranger things have happened. Every step you take stirs moonlit whispers from the soil, as if the earth itself acknowledges your presence. Nighttime gardening wasn't just about practicality. It was a deeply spiritual practice. Maori lore says that seedlings kissed by moonlight absorbed celestial strength, growing into sturdier plants. Some tailies held that planting under specific lunar phases could boost root depth or fruit sweetness. Could it be mere poetic metaphor? Or was this ancient wisdom encoding something we've yet to fully grasp? Modern science reveals moonlight does more than cast shadows. It affects plant physiology subtly. Experts think even minimal night illumination can adjust growth cycles. Did Maori gardeners instinctively tune into this, much like how sailors navigated by stars? We don't know if their soil blessings were rituals of faith or empirical observations of subtle lunar influences, but isn't it fascinating to consider that moon-nurtured crops might be nature's own organic enhancement program? Gently, you reach out to feel soil warmed by the night's lingering embrace. Some Maori traditions spoke of plants reaching out to the moon like eager children, growing stronger in its cool, watchful gaze. Think how a gardener would kneel, hands tenderly placing seeds in night-cooled earth, guided by wisdom echoed through generations. One quirky belief even suggested moonlight could charge seeds like a battery, priming them with unseen energy. Sounds more sci-fi than garden tip. But ancient lore doesn't always stick to the almanac rules. Wandering these ancient paths, where moonlight continues to nurture secrets held deep within the soil, you feel the harmony of a rhythm, ancient yet enduring. It was said that during certain moon phases, the very heart of the earth would pulse with a glow, guiding Maori hands through ageless rituals. Was it mystical insight, keen observation, or a dash of both that let them hear the whispers of seeds unfurling under the moon's embrace? The debate remains an open book, but one thing echoes clear. Beneath our modern strides lies a past where moonlight and earth's whispers carved a living connection. A rhythm still beating beneath the night's gentle spell. And as you finally take a seat beneath that moonlit canopy, you're no longer just visiting, you're becoming part of a timeless embrace. One where seeds cradled in moonlight carry whispers through the ages, guiding hands to plant and soil to yield in a dance that celebrates the union of sky and earth. This ancient language, shared through moonlit wisdom, lives on, a testament to the harmony waiting to be rediscovered. You feel the seasons shift around you as the moon casts its silver glow, each phase a gentle reminder of the passage of time. The waxing and waning light orchestrates a ballet that shapes not just days, but entire growing seasons. Historically, Polynesian navigators utilized celestial rhythms, but it's lesser known how deeply the Maori intertwined lunar phases with agricultural cycles. Ever heard that some Maori carvings depict plants with moon symbols? Historians still argue whether these were spiritual allusions or precise agricultural markers. Under the moon's watchful eye, gardens breathe anew through its cycles. Picture this: a farmer notes how crops respond as the crescent sliver expands, aligning planting with the moon's rise. One intriguing theory whispers about dark moons, the invisible phase right before the new cycle begins, believed by some fringe scholars to be peak periods for planting certain tubers. Could it be mere superstition or an uncanny wisdom we underestimate. With each step, you witness the way moonlight filters through leaves, casting ethereal dances upon the soil. Experts suggest certain plants grow faster in moonlight. For instance, have you heard that kiwis, yes, New Zealand's own national fruit, might respond to moon phases during their blooming season? Skeptics chalk this up to mere coincidence, yet some gardeners swear by a subtle shift in their yields. As you walk, the Maori's connection to the cosmos pulses through the ground beneath your feet. Every phase whispered tailies. Full moons might have prompted night harvests, while gibbous phases signaled optimal pruning times. Remember those crocodile dung sunscreen jokes from ancient Egypt? Here it's claimed gardeners used moonlight-exposed leaves to naturally mulch seeds during dry spells. Who knew ancient sunblock had a garden twin? In this landscape, the moon phases aren't just a calendar, they're a sacred script. Each shift feels deliberate, guiding growth much like a tempo, sets the pace of a dance. Historians might debate whether celestial patterns or traditional lore governed planting schedules here, but the serenity you feel now reveals the wisdom of following rhythms, both ancient and natural. Let's picture this together. You stand in a moon-kissed orchard with an elder who watches the waxing gibbous climb, then gestures toward your hands. You hold seeds, cool against your palm, primed for the soil. Feel the moon's rhythm, they say in a near whisper. It feels timeless, like secrets are being passed down through the very bones of the earth. Even as you stretch and feel the ground's night-cooled surface, the connection to lunar wisdom wraps around you. One quirky belief claims planting during lunar eclipses could create super yields. Though how many gardeners braved midnight planting in moon shadows, we may never know. Yet the idea persists across generations. A whisper carried on the night breeze, sometimes science, sometimes magic. The gardens now breathe in sync with the moon's guidance, whether it was the precision of celestial phases or the belief that each seed absorbed a fragment of starlight. You almost feel the pulse. The moon's embrace feels intimate, each phase a chapter in an ancient tale, and in that tale, you are but a traveler, guided through ages by the gentle hand of the night sky. This is a testament to the wisdom rooted in rhythms that never grow old. As the night air envelops you, you find yourself drawn into the pulse of ancient rites beneath the celestial glow. Each moonlit night, villagers gather a silent procession of figures, their faces cast in shadows. A circle forms, and the elder steps forward, a basket brimming with seeds in hand. The silver light spills over their shoulders, reflecting off polished stones at their feet. It's said these nights are when the veil between the earth and cosmos thins, and the garden's guardian spirits awaken. Whispers float through the air as murmurs of long-forgotten chants meet the moon's steady gaze. The Maori weren't unique in this practice. Ancient civilizations around the world aligned their spiritual ceremonies with lunar phases. Intriguingly, some scholars believe this was less about superstition and more a psychological grounding linked to natural rhythms. But here, under the Maori sky, you don't just feel history. You sense a living pulse that transcends time. With eyes closed, you imagine the ancients gathering under the night sky, their lives woven with the moonlight guiding them. You feel the soft hum of collective memory, the knowledge that this ritual has been passed through generations long before any European settler set foot on these lands. One tale speaks of celestial plantings done under the blood moon, where the harvest wasn't just about sustenance, but a binding promise to the earth. Historians still argue whether these rituals were more spiritual or purely agricultural in design. Now, in this moment, you too are pulled into the rhythm. You raise your hands along with the elders, feeling the cool, damp earth beneath your fingernails as you place the seeds in soft, moon-blessed soil. Every motion, a silent prayer to the land, an invocation that the plants may flourish under the night sky's eternal vigilance. It's almost amusing how, back home, people have garden hacks delivered via email, while here, it's as if the moonlight itself whispers growth secrets into your ears. The scent of damp, fertile earth mingles with the soft rustling of leaves overhead. Under this silvered vigil, one might imagine that the moon herself breathes life into the seeds, blessing them with unseen vigors. The Maori aren't the only ones with this connection. In parts of Japan, folklore describes the Tsukiyo no Tain, seeds sown by moonlight, believed to cultivate the purest harvests. Ever heard that planting under Virgo's moon yields more vibrant roses? Skeptical? Well, some New Age gardeners try, claiming it's less about astrology and more about embracing the mystic spirit. Each phase of the moon guides different actions: pruning during the gibbous phase, harvesting beneath the full moon's spotlight. Even in these practices, you glimpse an almost intuitive understanding of cycles. It feels oddly poetic considering we modern folks check apps for planting dates. It's like, while they are glued to screens, Maori ancestors read the cosmos right off the sky, the oldest of calendars. As you move with them, the elder explains that this night of planting is not mere ritual, but a pact with the land. The rhythm of the moon and earth beats strongly beneath your feet, a testament to an unbroken chain of knowledge. Each step, each seed planted, feels like a whisper added to the symphony of life. There's a quirky fringe belief that planting seeds during a lunar standstill could enhance their spirit essence. Sounds mystical, right? But who's to say ancient wisdom wasn't tapping into some profound truth beyond our modern scope? In the hush, you experience something profound, a connection not only to the earth, but to those who came before you, and to the cosmos that envelops it all. The moon casts its magic with a gentle grace, revealing that these traditions are much more than folklore. As you look up, the elder's voice resonates softly, reminding you that with each moonrise, the ancient pact renews. You walk away feeling more than just a visitor. You're akin in this timeless embrace, bound together by the ancient pulse of the stars and earth. The elders' gentle cadence still echoes in your mind as you step deeper into the heart of the Maori village. Each hut sleeps under the moon's serene glow, an ethereal light that feels almost alive. You realize that these nights of ritual aren't just communal bonding, they're a rekindling of a shared legacy. Historians often wonder how many other cultures relied on such celestial cues, perhaps losing their stories when the electricity-driven world took center stage. Under the canopy of stars, you find yourself near the village's central garden, held sacred by generations. In this place, where history whispers in the rustling leaves, even skepticism melts into wonder. The Maori name for this garden, Aotearoa, signifies a wider threshold bridging time, spirit, and soil. Did you know some Maori tales speak of a night-blooming flower, visible only on the winter solstice? A blooming event so rare it's rumored some elders have spent lifetimes simply awaiting its blossom. As you walk, the elder continues with quiet reverence. The Maori have long understood the pulse of the earth, weaving each planting into the larger tapestry of celestial rhythms. It's fascinating how these nocturnal plantings create a sense of unity, both among the villagers and with nature itself. Picture it, seeds tucked beneath the earth's skin by the moon's gentle caress, a cosmic lullaby ensuring growth. If you squint, it's easy to imagine a moon whispering, "Rest now, little seed, the dawn follows." Here in the village, each planting isn't solitary. It's communal, bonding hearts in rhythm with the cosmos. Everyone has a role. Youths help till, matrons bind soil-warmed seeds with protective incantations. Historians still debate whether the communal aspect of this ritual was more influential than the lunar factors involved. It's a lively field of research, and if I might say, far more colorful than the sterile data points of modern agronomy. You pause near the edge of Aotearoa, sensing history beneath your feet. The earth here remembers each planting, every spoken incantation echoing through the ages. One elder told a whimsical story of a giant moon rabbit who tended to Earth's gardens, his footsteps causing plants to unfurl overnight. It's charming to think, even if we dismiss such tales as myth, they could hold kernels of ancient agricultural wisdom. As your senses drink in the night air, you realize how this isn't merely a shared labor, but a profound ceremony. Each seed planted is a promise, an exchange of life's future for the night's tender, guiding glow. It's easy to laugh at how our modern society seeks connectivity through Wi-Fi, while here, it's the moon's ethereal luminescence, bridging spirit, soil, and soul. In this timeless village moment, you feel as though you've stepped into a living painting. Elders' murmurs, the scent of loamy earth, the moon's gentle rays, all weave a spell of unity with each other and the world around. Under this Maori sky, you're more than an observer. You're an emissary of the earth, drawn into the shared rhythm of a people bound by both blood and belief. Every step taken in this communal planting is a testament to something far greater than routine agriculture. Here, under the watchful celestial eye, you embrace the heartbeats of land and lineage. This is the Maori way, an unbroken melody of earth and cosmic resonance, with each phase of the moon a verse, each seed a note, and every silent step under the moon's silvery spotlight, an echo of millennia-spanning symphony. You sense the village's spiritual center, pulsating gently, an old energy wrapped in lunar lore. Each symbol here isn't just a mark, but a tale, an embodiment of wisdom held sacred by generations. Under the Mara, the central meeting ground, shadows shift with the lunar rhythms, and tailies from the Maori cosmos paint the darkness. Some say these symbols connect the earthly and celestial realms. Historians still argue whether these celestial links were merely myth or genuine ancient science, a debate echoing in scholarly circles for centuries. Remember that story about the giant moon rabbit? According to Maori traditions, the moon rabbit tends celestial gardens, an intriguing symbol mirroring the indigenous myths found in China and Mesoamerica, a testament to shared human imagery, no matter the distance. In this village, symbols etched in wood or stone bridge the gap between the known world and the mysteries of the night. Consider the carvings of the Tangaroa, depicting the ocean god as a guardian of life's cycles interwoven with the lunar rhythms. Experts think the symbol's placement, aligning with specific celestial events, may reveal a sophisticated calendar. But was it intended to track time or interpret divine messages from the gods above? As you examine the carvings closer, you find symbols representing the Pleiades star cluster, revered among Polynesian navigators as the navigational compass in the night sky. That same star cluster appears in many ancient cultures, from Greek mythology to Native American lore, an intriguing point of celestial convergence across human history. One cheeky elder here swore the Pleiades helped guide wayward lovers back to their homes, a romantic idea if ever there was one. You feel the night shifting, like the universe is leaning in, whispering forgotten truths. Some carvings hint at connections to the lunar phase during pivotal events, harvests, weddings, even naming ceremonies. Historians still debate whether lunar symbols' primary purpose was ritualistic or practical, arguing at academic conferences with the gusto of star-crossed lovers. As symbols blend with night's embrace, you sense the moon's guidance shaping lives and events. They say the Maori carved these symbols as living libraries, recording history not in the linear scrolls of Europe, but in constellations and celestial movements. Can you imagine the elder's face if we showed them our modern-day books? Paper, really? Didn't you have stones? In Aotearoa, the spiritual energies flow through you, an ancient wisdom transmitted across lifetimes. Under this Maori moon, you feel more than a visitor. You're an explorer of a cosmic library, where every symbol whispers truths lost to most of the world. You notice the elders often pause their work, heads bent toward the night sky, perhaps reciting an incantation or merely acknowledging an old friend. One of the symbols catches your eye, a spiraling pattern believed to mirror the cyclical nature of life, connected to celestial rhythms. Some scholars claim the spirals correlate to women's cycles, the moon's phases, and the tide's ebb and flow, an alignment seen in sacred sites worldwide. From prehistoric Ireland to indigenous tribes in North America, the Maori elders might simply smile at the complexities we moderns add, preferring instead to let the spirit of symbols guide them. Your heart sways alongside the moon's pull as you observe these symbols' grace. The elders taught that each emblem weaves stories from the heavens to the earth, a continuum of celestial wisdom passed down through song and ritual. Did you hear the tale of the Maori navigator who supposedly read the waves' rhythm to determine his course, only to find a new island by relying on celestial charts alone? Some skeptics might call it myth, but who hasn't gotten lost, wishing for a star to guide us home? In this twilight dance, you witness how these symbols shape lives, bridging past and present. They say the carvings' alignments were deliberately calculated for seasonal festivals or planting rituals, though historians still argue whether these were deliberate markers or poetic coincidences. There's comfort in knowing that some secrets remain untouched by debate, continuing to whisper between the stars. Each step taken aligns you with the ancient symphony of symbols guiding lives. The elder's voice now echoes the whispers of time, inviting you deeper into a world where every symbol is a celestial bridge, a testament to the shared dance of cosmic wisdom. You understand that the Maori have always read the night sky as a universal manuscript, with each symbol etched by lunar light guiding hearts and hands for generations. As the village's energy melds with the moon's glow, your senses are flooded, carvings pulse, celestial patterns shift, and ancient whispers become clear. The symbol of Rahingo, the life force, appears alongside the moon's emblem, an acknowledgement of how spiritual and practical realms intertwine. Whether this connection was a spiritual calling or a scientific calculation, the night holds its secrets close. You pause, letting the night's melody sink in. Each symbol tells a story, guiding footsteps and soul alike through the moonlight. The villagers believe that by honoring these celestial signs, they remain tethered not just to their past, but to the universe's heartbeat, a legacy that carries on long after the last incantation fades into dreams. In this starlit hour, you realize you've crossed more than a physical distance. You've entered a realm where celestial symbols speak not just to the eyes, but to the heart and soul. Under the Maori moon, each symbol, each whisper, each sacred mark breathes new life, binding you in a timeless embrace of cosmic wisdom and earthly love. The night's serenity deepens as you stand beneath the moon's watchful eye. This moon isn't just a distant orb, it's the night guardian, a silent sentinel of Maori gardens. You feel its presence as a comforting embrace, like an old friend keeping a timeless vigil over the land. Legend says the moon guides gardeners with silvery whispers to their souls. Perhaps this is why some crops flourish under its light, while others wither when its glow is absent. The Maori believed the moon's phases revealed secrets about planting cycles. In fact, modern science notes that some plants exhibit growth patterns influenced by lunar cycles. But was this ancient wisdom scientific fact or mystical intuition? Historians still argue whether lunar farming methods were empirical science or spiritual belief. As you walk the garden paths, your fingertips graze kumara vines, heavy with history. The Maori's moon-linked gardening traditions predate European colonization. This wasn't mere folklore. Research suggests that lunar planting actually optimizes soil moisture and temperature. But here's a quirky thought. Some elders swear the moon's cycles even affect crop taste. Was this taste difference real, or merely the power of lunar suggestion? Moonlight spills across your path, illuminating ancient techniques still felt today. Did Maori gardeners sense the exact moment to plant by the moon's glow, or by some subtle earthly sign? Scholars are divided. Historians still argue whether moon-guided planting relied more on observation or divine intuition. What if both were true? A celestial symphony harmonizing practical knowledge and spiritual connection. In the shadows cast by Pohutukawa branches, you sense the night's wisdom etched into the earth. The villagers didn't just follow lunar cycles, they became part of its rhythm. They believed the moon held sacred knowledge. What if they were right? Could ancient guardians of the night harbor secrets modern science hasn't uncovered? Imagine whispering to the moon like an old friend, asking for guidance on planting seeds or tending soil. Was this communication a literal dialogue or a metaphor for internal wisdom? Each step reveals how lunar guardianship shaped daily life. You notice carvings of Ranga, the god whose eyes were the dual sun and moon. Some elders say Ranga's gaze determined not only seasons, but personal fates. Fringe beliefs even suggest celestial alignment at birth could influence one's destiny. How wild. But then again, modern astrology still charts sky's influences on daily life. Was the moon an overseer or an oracle, a cosmic clock or a spiritual guide? As you wander, the elders' stories about the Maui legend echo in your mind. Maui, the trickster, fished up islands from the ocean floor with a heavenly hook. But did he also steal the moon's fire, embedding its wisdom into Maori gardens? Historians still argue whether Maui brought celestial knowledge or merely personified human ingenuity. Was this tale an explanation for mysterious lunar phenomena, or an allegory encouraging curiosity in the night sky? You look up and notice silver fingers of moonlight weaving through tree leaves, casting gentle patterns on the earth. Here, the moon does more than light darkness. It nourishes soul and soil alike. You can almost hear whispers carried on night breezes, voices of ancestors who followed these same moonlit paths. What secrets did they hold in such high esteem, knowing their gardens thrived under celestial guidance? Historians still argue whether lunar guardianship was an environmental adaptation or spiritual mandate. The moon's glow strengthens as you ponder another mystery. Did Maori celestial practices influence global lunar traditions, or were theirs unique cosmic dialogues? Across cultures, the moon carries varied meanings: fertility cycles, time markers, or divine messages. But in Maori gardens, was the moon always a protective sentinel, ensuring crops absorbed wisdom as much as sunlight? As you walk through the ancient soil, you feel a connection stretching beyond time, under the gentle guardianship of a lunar companion. The Maori gardens thrived under careful watch, nurtured not just by human hands, but by the cosmic clock whose rhythms guided them. What knowledge did the moon impart, seen only through keen perception or felt by the heart? Historians still argue whether lunar gardening was meticulous science or sacred art. Your path brings you to a moonlit clearing, ancient stones etched with celestial patterns. This could have been where villagers offered prayers for abundant harvests. Did supplicants kneel here, hoping to commune with their night guardian? Historians still argue whether these were ritual gestures or calculated agricultural gestures. Was this a divine embrace or a sophisticated calendar written in moonlight? Each stone whispers ancient secrets under the silvered glow. You feel the moon's silent protection over you, just as it once safeguarded these sacred gardens. The Maori's bond with the moon wasn't just one of survival. It was a testament to their deep connection to the universe. And as you stand in this night's glow, you're reminded that sometimes the greatest guardians are those we've looked up to for millennia. Their whispers still guiding our paths. Breathing in the cool night air, you realize that the Maori moon's guardianship isn't confined to the past. It continues to shape the earth and its people, a timeless legacy echoing through the leaves, rustling in the moon's tender light. And as you step softly back down the garden path, you carry that ancient wisdom with you, a connection as real and palpable as the moonlit earth beneath your feet. The moon's presence lingers as you step from the clearing to the garden's heart, where heritage blooms under silver beams. This isn't just about crops, it's the living vessel of cultural roots. Here, elder spirits whisper tales through wind and moonlight, shaping a garden nurtured by celestial wisdom. The Maori heritage is woven into these very roots. Tales speak of kumara, growing under moonlight so potent they thrived without rain for weeks. Historians, however, still debate whether this was magical belief or a keen understanding of drought resistance. But imagine planting kumara as the full moon reached high, knowing every silver beam held ancestral approval. Your fingertips brush against the edges of leaves, catching the moon's delicate glow. You feel this land's wisdom passed from generation to generation. Elders once used lunar phases to teach youth not just planting, but life cycles. Did they know of the synchrony between human growth and celestial rhythms? Or was it a beautiful coincidence? As you meander through, you notice stones arranged in crescent arcs. These aren't random. They mark time, guide crops, and perhaps hold memory of a people deeply in touch with the cosmos. Some elders believed these stones captured moonlight and converted it into fertile soil energy. Yes, fringe, but intriguing. Could the Maori have somehow channeled celestial forces into agricultural magic? Pause and take a breath. Feel the night's rhythm pulse beneath your feet. The Maori not only observed the moon, they synchronized their lives with its ebbs and flows. Each planting session held whispers of an old prayer shared down lineages. Historians still argue whether these prayers were symbolic rituals or literal conversations with gods. Was the moon's cycle a divine ledger or a farmer's almanac? Now turn to the rustling plants. Their leaves seem to chatter, carrying echoes of ancestral dreams. These gardens, under lunar guardianship, became living archives told through roots, stems, and blossoms. Imagine elders planting seeds in moonlight, murmuring ancient songs. Did those melodies carry some hidden, guiding frequency? Look closer at the way moonlight touches the soil, almost reverent. The moon wasn't just a guide, but a historian, recording each season's bounty and sorrow. Could it be true that these gardens thrived on more than sunlight and rain, but the accumulated wisdom of sleepless moonlit nights? The garden paths wind deeper, whispering secrets through their curves. Here, every blade of grass holds stories passed through whispers and shadows. The Maori's ancient moon dances weren't just ceremonial, they infused the earth with generational echoes. Do we still carry some of that ancient resonance in our garden steps today? And there, at the garden's core, stands an ancient pohutukawa, its bark grooved with countless lunar cycles. Did those markings serve as celestial maps, or were they stories scribed into the bark by elder hands? Historians still debate whether these arboreal etchings held mystical powers or practical wisdom. What's fact? What's legend? Your senses tingle as you touch the tree, feeling vibrations, centuries of guidance under moon's watch. The Maori didn't just grow crops, they cultivated legacies, living testaments to celestial alignments. But did this practice influence global lunar gardening wisdom, or was it uniquely a Maori art? What exchanges crossed ocean waves, carried on moonlight and dreams? Turn to gaze upward. The moon's halo glows with ancestral eyes. In this light, you feel the past converge with the present, a living thread linking every moonlit step. What treasures lay in these garden layers, beneath celestial guardianship, whispered stories, moonlit dances, and secret cycles. Your footsteps soften under the timeless embrace of lunar cycles. Could the Maori have deciphered cosmic codes, translating star maps into soil wisdom. Even today, we argue whether their celestial knowledge was mysticism or empirical fact. Both or neither. You step on, carried by dreams and Earth's gentle pulse. With every moon phase, new wisdom was planted, and new tailies blossomed alongside crops. Under moonbeams, the line between myth and reality blurred, creating a living library in every leaf and root. As you walk, you sense the weight of those dreams, now earthbound whispers in the night. Your breath becomes part of this lunar rhythm, the moon weaving stories through your fingertips. The Maori heritage isn't just history. It's a living pulse in the earth. Each cycle, a heartbeat of ancient guardians watching. Was it faith, science, or both that led them? Historians will debate, but gardeners know in their bones. And as you glance up to the moon one final time, its light pools softly on the pathway. The heritage blooms not just in gardens, but in every dream nurtured under its gaze, eternal, timeless, and deeply felt. You continue strolling down paths bathed in ghostly luminescence, feeling the rhythm of ages through your souls. Night air whispers stories, carried only on breezes kissed by ancient moon cycles. Your senses dance between the earthy musk of nocturnal blooms and the crisp, almost electric charge of celestial energy. It's in moments like these you almost expect to glimpse silver-footed spirits darting between fern fronds. Did the Maori's celestial timing hold hidden symphonies in the stars, frequencies inaudible to daytime ears? Experts think the Maori might have sensed vibrations beyond mortal hearing, tuning their planting to cosmic rhythms rather than just lunar cycles. Was theirs an agricultural science enriched by spiritual acoustics, or was that just the wind playing tricks on ancient ears? As your fingers trace the edges of lush leaves, you feel the pulse of that mystery, a living thread in every green vein. Each layer of this verdant tapestry carries histories older than written records. The kumara's growth was said to respond not just to soil and sun, but to songs whispered during sowing under waning moons. Could melodies really soften or spur leaf growth? Some claim certain chants accelerated sprouting, an agro miracle or gardener's fancy. Notice how the night sky's constellations seem to lean closer here, their gleam somehow sharper. Perhaps ancestors truly believed that the Pleiades' sparkle heralded the best planting time. Did they really hold star parties to negotiate seed depths? Or maybe that's just modern folklore dressing up old truths with sparkle and satire. Historians still argue whether the Matariki stars signaled planting, or if those were just lucky alignments. As you linger by an old karaka tree, you sense its silent witness to countless planting rites. Karaka berries were reserved for leaders. Could it be that some of the moon's celestial whispers became governance secrets encoded in saplings? Did tribal meetings under new moons mix politics with planting tips? Elder diplomacy threading through root and branch. The night air grows cooler as you meander deeper, The garden, a living memoir of those who walked these paths before. Maori oral traditions didn't separate life phases from lunar rhythm. Was planting also a rite of passage into deeper ancestral wisdom? Historians ponder if moon cycles intermingled with coming-of-age rituals, grounding wisdom in soil as well as soul. You pause at the edge of what feels like a moonlit amphitheater, where rows of plants seem almost purposefully arrayed. In full bloom, they'd create a dazzling night spectacle. Could these have been celestial observatories? Natural astrolabes tracing constellations, nightly journeys. Some speculate moonlit nights saw elders reading skies through blossoming patterns. Was the garden a living textbook or a star-mapping scrying bowl? Each silvered leaf seems to whisper ancestral secrets, carrying tales of moons long past. Historians still debate whether that sacredness held pragmatic benefits for soil, or was more about uniting clan identity through shared celestial rhythms. Was the garden a cultural anchor, an agricultural almanac, or both? The Maori legacy flows through roots entwined with both earth and sky. As you meander homeward, you feel a cosmic embrace lingering in every night breeze, every rustle of foliage. The Maori tradition lives on not just in these roots, but in the harmonies still echoing beneath moonlit leaves. And while that ancient wisdom may be shrouded in mystery, was it always science? Was it sometimes sorcery? Either way, it's clear the moon was more than a clock. It was a co-conspirator in the dance of life and growth. Your steps settle into the moon's lullaby, heartbeats harmonizing with the earth's nightly breath. Even now, amidst modern doubts and debates, that timeless rhythm persists, a pulse shared by all who listen beneath the same sky. Those footsteps trace not just a path, but the legacy of cosmic whispers, celestial harmonies still echoing through both leaf and lineage. Under the umbra of ancient canopies, night's quietude wraps you like a cocoon. You sense the moon's phases influencing far more than planting. They seem to breathe life into relationships between soil and sky. Here, the soil isn't just soil. It's a living ledger of lunar promises kept through the ages. You can almost hear the gentle murmur of seed and soil conversing in moonlight. Each lunar shift, a page turned in this story of growth. Historians still argue whether there was a sacred recipe that linked certain lunar phases to specific crops. Could kumara only truly thrive when sown under a waning gibbous moon, or was that correlation built on generations of anecdotal gardening gossip spread under starlight? Those Maori lunar gardeners, were they agricultural alchemists, turning moonbeams into bounty? As you trudge over moss-clad stones, your feet land in spots where countless generations of footsteps have whispered, thanks to this earth. You lean in to a particularly lush fern, its fronds unfolding in silvery splendor. Here, even the shadows hold memory. The Maori might have seen root spirits rising in the lunar glow, guiding tender sprouts upward. Was it pure poetic fancy? Or did shadows really hint at unseen forces nurturing each green shoot? Glimpse the sky between lace-like ferns, and you might question, were crops planted not just by time, but by zodiac phases? Did the cosmos patterns dictate more than mere planting days, perhaps weaving destiny itself? You half expect elders to emerge from shadows, debating if the Southern Cross revealed hidden truths about watering times or blossom forecasts. After all, some say that star lore and soil lore fused in those moonlit councils. Each route you encounter seems to tug at a deeper mystery. Those subterranean webs connecting moon phases to the rhythm that makes plants burst forth or slumber. Recall that fringe tidbit about the lunar growth correlation with seaweed-soaked soils. Was that a mere trick of the tides, or a genuine cosmic partnership? Historians might scoff. Yet it's here, beneath this celestial quilt, the connection feels almost tangible. Some tailies speak of moon fasts, periods, where certain food harvesting was sacredly suspended, lest the moon's alignment sour the roots. Historians still ponder whether such fasting was about celestial omens, or simply brilliant ecological cycles disguised as ritual. Could phases dictate whether a sweet potato was merely sweet or imbued with a moonlit magic? Even now, your fingers trace the rough bark of an old puriri tree. Imagine meetings under these boughs. Leaders might have shared wisdom where the moon spoke through rustling leaves more than through words. Did tribal consensus hinge on celestial signals above as much as on harvest yields below? Were moon phases pivotal in councils that decided everything from resource distribution to war parties? A night bird's call pulls you back to the present. You realize this isn't just a walk through plants. Lunar secrets thread through every leaf. You notice how even invasive species seem to adhere to a lunar etiquette here. Does the moon's rhythm orchestrate an underground ballet, choreographing root growth and dormancy in symphony? Is it mere fancy, or a universal dance unseen by daylight? As you approach moonlight bathing a clearing, you feel the full weight of a heritage where time flowed less like a river and more like a celestial tide. Each cycle of waxing and waning wasn't just about timekeeping, it was a living partnership. Were crop yields truly higher when planting mirrored that ancient rhythm? Or is that just the poetic glow of historical romance cast through modern nostalgia? Under this Maori moon, planting transcended soil. It embraced the cosmic pulse, the universe's heartbeat felt through tender roots. And as you stand there, under that vast silver dome, you can almost believe, really believe, that the moon isn't just observing, it's guiding, whispering cycles of growth, nurturing an unbroken bond between Earth and cosmos. You inhale deeply, feeling the connection beneath your skin, ready for whatever celestial advice dawn might carry. You step into the clearing, moonlight bathing your face like an old friend, a presence that feels almost tactile. This lunar connection isn't confined to soil alone, but but weaves stories into every breath you take, every whisper you hear. As the silver light caresses the earth, the moon reveals secrets written across ancient leaves, a story told in both shadows and stars. Do you recall those tales about the mystical Marimataka, the lunar calendar? It's said to dictate more than just planting seasons, maybe even weaving through cultural ceremonies and daily life. Historians still argue whether the calendar was primarily an agricultural tool or something that touched every facet of Maori existence. Was the moon not just a gardener's guide, but the pulse of society itself? You linger here, letting the quietude wrap around you. Each breath seems to align your own rhythm with nature's. You almost feel how celestial patterns could guide not just crops, but human behavior. Think of that quirky fringe theory that moon cycles might have altered entire social moods. Can phases of the moon truly be linked to human temperaments? Or is that just poetic embellishment spun into the fabric of these stories? The air shifts, and a soft rustle moves through the canopy above. Those elders' debates likely weren't as fanciful as you might imagine. Imagine them here, discussing how the moonlight softened soils embrace around seedlings, perhaps arguing whether those old planting chants were magical incantations or just practical farming techniques with an added celestial flair. Historians still argue whether ancient methods were sheerly practical or sprinkled with mystical intent. With each step, you feel the roots below your feet. It's here where the cosmic and the carnal intertwine, where seeds kissed by moonlight burst forth with life during certain phases. Recall those old tales of moonlit germination nights, a time when planting was considered almost sacred. Could it be that moon phases influenced germination rates? Or is this merely another instance of mythos coloring practicality? You may never know. Yet standing here under this silvered light, it's easy to believe in all the unseen connections above and below. Even the wind seems to carry lunar wisdom as it whispers through leaves, sharing secrets meant for the attentive ear. Here, ancient knowledge is not confined to texts, but lives in the rustle of trees caught in moonlight, offering wisdom in the space between silence and sound. Was the moon's role in daily Maori life underestimated by modern historians, who perhaps missed its subtle threads winding through both culture and ecology? As your feet softly pad through the undergrowth, you spot a grove of plants illuminated in patches by moonbeams, a testament to how each phase brought new opportunities, new wisdom. Some whispers speak of nights when certain plants were believed to possess heightened healing properties. Could lunar phases enhance the potency of herbs? Or is that another beautiful myth, too fantastical for mainstream acceptance? The debate continues, igniting curiosity among those who wander this path of ancient knowledge. The glow of the moon reflects off a puddle, mirroring centuries of agricultural wisdom. Could even water catch the moon's whispers? Did the Maori believe in lunar tides flowing through soil and streams, guiding nutrient flow. That intriguing historical fact about celestial mapping in waterways sparks the imagination. Were water sources chosen for their lunar alignment, ensuring crops flourished under cosmic favor? You pause, resting against a tree, feeling the connection of ages through bark rough against your fingers. It's tempting to think those elders under star-filled skies who felt celestial forces pulsing through every leafy vein might have been onto something more profound than simple folklore, whether seen through a lens of practicality or mysticism. The moon's guiding hand remains a pivotal piece in the grand mosaic of wisdom and lore. You take a moment, bathed in moonlight, inhaling deeply as if the night itself offers its essence to you. Standing here, with legends flowing through both soil and air, you can almost sense a heartbeat syncing perfectly with moon cycles, breathing life into each seed, each whisper, each step forward. Continuing through the underbrush, you can't help but imagine every fern, every root below, alive with possibility. In these sacred groves, even silence holds a memory, a bond between earthly and celestial that endures, guiding all who listen toward the knowledge waiting in moonlit pools and shadowed leaves. Moving quietly, the moonlight directs you through the garden, a living testament to generations who read celestial signs. Here, every frond, every root whispers secrets carried through time, as the glow reveals pathways once traveled by elders. You're immersed in the same wisdom that guided their hands. Remember the ancient practice of placing seeds beneath the light of certain moons. Some say the full moon's soft caress could accelerate growth. Experts think lunar energy might affect seed vitality, a theory steeped in both science and lore. This isn't just poetic fancy. It's a blend of observation and reverence that shaped lives. Pause by an old Awapuhi shrub, leaves shimmering beneath the moon's gaze. Locals believed it best to harvest during crescent phases for potent remedies. Some even whispered those herbs picked at dawn after a new moon held life-changing properties. Historians still argue whether this practice stemmed from empirical evidence or spiritual intuition, the debate coloring our understanding of ancient wisdom. Walking further, you glimpse a kumara patch, its vines heavy with promise. The sweet potato thrived under lunar care, tended by those who could read growth patterns in the sky. It's here that some think the Maori's lunar gardening was most refined. Could lunar phases optimize the kumara's life cycle? Debates endure, but beneath the silver light, each leaf whispers perhaps. Consider how those ancient gardeners saw the moon's embrace as not just a tool, but a guide to community well-being. They watched its rise and fall, interpreting shadows and light for signs of harmony. Perhaps moonlight also played a role in their cultural cohesion, strengthening ties under its unified glow. Did this celestial watch act as an anchor for Maori society itself, grounding people in shared practices? In this grove, each plant Every fern leaf unfurling seems to breathe with ancestral rhythm. Here, the moon's secrets entwine with roots and soil, creating an alchemical dance of growth. Could lunar cycles influence not only planting times, but also tribal health? While fringe to some, this possibility threads through tales old and new, sparking quiet wonder. Feel the night air hum with a story, a conversation between sky and earth. As your footsteps echo the elders' paths, recall that historians still argue whether moon-kissed gardens yielded stronger medicinal plants. As you brush past a row of koromiko flowers, notice their vibrant resilience, a testament to connections that bind past and present. It's easy to get lost in these musings, to wonder about the potency of those old planting songs chanted beneath moonglow. Were they merely rituals, or did ancient gardeners find a frequency that resonated with both soil and soul? The melody lingers in whispers through leaves, challenging the bounds of mere practicality. As the moon shifts, casting longer shadows, you sense layers of wisdom unfolding, each phase a guide, each shadow a teacher. Did the Maori's lunar gardening create a symbiotic relationship, where the moon tended the earth and the earth tended their spirit? The mystery remains, drawing us deeper into their timeless narrative. Beneath this silver veil, you realize that every garden, every harvest, was a chapter in a grand story written across the sky and soil. How much more there is beneath the surface, a knowledge we're only beginning to touch. You walk on, listening with your heart as much as your ears, feeling the quiet pulse that leads the way home. Moonlight drifts through the canopy, guiding you deeper into nature's tapestry. Here, beneath the ancient trees, the earth's own heartbeat seems synchronized with the moon's glow. Every rustle, every whisper carries echoes from those who once walked these paths. In this hallowed grove, think of the legendary Seven Sisters constellation Pleiades, as some know it. Historians agree this star cluster held significance across many cultures. For the Maori, it signaled the beginning of the fishing season. Yet, there's a quirkier tale. Some elders claimed these sisters also influenced vegetable sweetness when they shone brightly enough. Did their celestial dance affect more than just navigational paths? Moving quietly along moss-covered stones, you feel the pulse of ages past. Experts think certain herbs gained potency when harvested during specific lunar patterns. Was there an unseen energy that flowed between sky and garden beds? Historians still debate whether lunar cycles were scientific calendars or mystical calendars, each interpretation shedding light on ancient practices. Here in the soft luminescence, consider how the Maori might have seen the moon not just as a guide for planting, but as an orchestrator of nature's rhythm. Think of the kumara, sweet potatoes, thriving under this celestial watch. Legends say each phase brought new life to crops, though some fringe thinkers argue moon phases could even affect nutrient density in leaves. How much did this belief shape daily life under moonlit skies? pause by a grove where miro trees stand sentinel. Ancient wisdom held that certain phases summoned rain clouds or dried fields. Did those who tilled the soil here listen as closely to the moon's whispers as to rain's patter? The debate endures. Was this an intuitive understanding of natural cycles, or a sophisticated form of biorhythmic resonance? Beneath this tranquil light, every possibility shimmers. Gently, the whisper of the past twines with the present. Each plant hear a note in the same melody. What if the Maori weren't just tracking time's passage with their moons, but actively harmonizing with Earth's deeper rhythms? Could their observance of lunar phases have influenced soil fertility itself? We stand on the edge of knowing and believing, where scientific fact meets ancestral lore. Feel how each leaf, imbued with moon glow, speaks of a connection beyond mere survival. They flourish under shared vigilance, where each tribe member held a thread of this living tapestry. Experts think that the night's cool embrace might have also strengthened roots' grip in the soil, allowing them to absorb ancient stories from deeper layers. Is it possible the moon tended not just gardens, but spirits through these same rhythms? With every step you weave through this legacy, marvel at how each vine seems attuned to celestial motions. Those old chants sung to seed-laden soil, were they spells, or something profoundly more practical? Their echoes still ripple through the garden's breath, inviting both wonder and understanding. Could there be a frequency in those ancient melodies we've yet to fully comprehend? Here, beneath the twilight's cloak, realize the roots entwining with soil also weave through collective memory. Did the Maori's harmony with lunar cycles manifest as an ancestral wisdom, creating a bond between people and their lands that endures? You brush past a fern, its leaves trembling, as if answering some ancient call, reminding us how much remains to be uncovered in the dance of moon and earth. Feel the air under the canopy, softly humming with untold stories. This isn't just a garden, but a living library written in vines and roots. Imagine those who tended these plants, not merely surviving, but thriving in sync with celestial patterns. They believed the moon's whispers wove directly into the fabric of their lives. Experts say traditional planting calendars often aligned with lunar phases. The new moon brought planting, while the full moon guided harvesting. Yet consider a quirkier notion. Some believed a lunar eclipse could imbue particular herbs with amplified healing properties. Were they onto something we've yet to understand? You pause near a kopi tree swaying gently in the breeze. Historians still argue whether such beliefs were rooted in practical observation or mystical symbolism. Each silver leaf seems to hold a sliver of ancient wisdom, hinting that the answer might lie somewhere in between. Let your senses drift through the grove. The Maori crafted stories that wrapped around each phase, creating cultural echoes that still resonate today. Think of the harvest tales passed down, how the full moon lit paths to overflowing baskets, did the collective experience forge a bond between people and lunar cycles that goes beyond simple timekeeping. Wander further where the kawakawa bushes stand sentinel. Some tailies whisper that dreaming under a waxing moon could reveal the best soil for planting. Fringe thinkers debate whether this was intuition or something more scientifically tangible. Could dreams under specific moons have contained coded environmental clues? Brush a finger across a ripe berry, still glistening with dew. Imagine gatherings beneath different moon phases, each occasion woven with chants and rituals. This wasn't merely agriculture. It was an intricate dance of life, culture, and cosmos. Experts often study how celestial navigation shaped early mariners. But consider how this lunar wisdom might have extended into daily life on land. In this sacred space, notice how the shadows form patterns mirroring the starry paths above. Some believe certain lunar cycles brought not just planting wisdom, but also protected seeds from unseen threats. Could there be an element of biorhythmic resonance that modern science has yet to quantify? Breathe in the scent of earth and leaves. The Maori didn't just exist side by side with nature. They were conductors in a symphony where every cycle had meaning. Historians argue whether planting rituals were acts of devotion or early agricultural science. Was there a moment where both truths became indistinguishable? Here, under the silvered light, you understand that the moon's tapestry is threaded into cultural identity. Even today, consider how the night sky's constellations guide not only crops, but stories. The stars might hold their secrets, but the moon shared its practical wisdom in a dance as old as time. And while we might look up in wonder, remember those ancient whispers beneath the grove, each phase a promise kept across generations. You stand where moonlit trails once guided steps through history, paths worn beneath silver shadows. Each footfall feels like an echo from the past, as if the earth speaks through the vibrations beneath your feet. The Maori believed these paths held stories that time itself wove into the landscape, leading wanderers to places where ancient memories flickered in the twilight. Experts point out that early Polynesian navigators used star paths to cross vast oceans. But here, on these trails, another celestial guide held sway. Imagine following the moon's arc across the sky, using its gentle luminescence as a compass to traverse not just oceans, but the intimate gardens and sacred spaces of daily life. As you venture deeper, consider a quirkier angle. Some Maori elders whispered about a moon phase, the so-called moon of the whispering vine, where dreams carried prophetic echoes about soil health and weather patterns. Was this mere poetic tradition, or a fascinating example of dream state environmental prediction? Historians still argue whether these paths led to physical locations or metaphorical realms. Beneath your feet, the earth holds both an unyielding foundation and a cradle of myths that shaped cultural identity. Each step is a communion with those before you, a silent conversation carried on the night air, whispering ancient secrets. The night breathes around you, stories curling through the leaves and shadows. Can you feel the pulse of the earth beneath you? Some believe the moon's cycles didn't merely mark time, but imbued these trails with a special energy, an almost mystical connection that turned each journey into a sacred act. You touch the bark of an old tree, its rough texture grounding you in this moment. The Maori understood this intricate dance between moon, path, and purpose. They knew life's rhythm played out not just through the visible actions of planting and harvesting, but through the unseen threads of celestial guidance. As dawn threatens to bring light to the horizon, consider this. Experts say Polynesian celestial navigation was among the most sophisticated in human history. Yet here on land, these moon-guided trails reveal a wisdom equally profound. Could ancient stories whispered along these paths be the roots of modern agricultural science? You walk on, and the air grows heavier with ancient wisdom, each breath a sigh from the past's open heart. These trails are more than footpaths. They are chapters in a living history book, written not with ink, but with whispers of an age-old connection between humanity and the celestial sky. The moon dips below the horizon, but its echoes remain in the dew-kissed grass and the songs of early birds. Perhaps, even now, those ancient paths can teach us about more than just navigating through space. They could still reveal the secrets to navigating life's deeper rhythms, cycles within cycles, all guided by the subtle, persistent glow of a lunar companion. And as you finally step off these sacred trails, know this: the wisdom embedded in each moonlit path is not just about the past. It's a living essence, a guide for anyone willing to listen, ready to lead us back into harmony with the natural world's deeper, timeless rhythms. You step away from the well-worn paths, the moon having sunk beneath the horizon. This was the moment when the world held its breath before sunrise. You let your fingers brush through the dew-kissed grass, each blade whispering ancient stories. The Maori knew that dawn wasn't just a beginning, it was a continuation, a thread in a never-ending tapestry woven by the cosmos. Experts note that even the ancient Egyptians aligned their pyramids with celestial bodies, seeking harmony between Earth and the stars. Imagine following that same celestial logic, but guided instead by the moon's monthly voyage, a natural compass to navigate both physical terrain and the deeper cycles of life. Here, where the night shades into morning hues, consider a more whimsical belief. Some Maori lore speaks of the moon's twin children, a pair of celestial companions who, in their playful chase, influenced the flow of dreams and garden growth. Were they simply poetic symbols or forgotten deities guiding ancestral wisdom? Historians still argue whether moon-aligned trails primarily served practical navigation or spiritual purpose. As the sky starts to blush with incoming dawn, each step feels like a ritual, a sacred movement bridging the physical world and ethereal guidance. Can you see the world through their eyes, each moon phase as a unique chapter in their living calendar? The Maori's careful observation of these cycles wasn't just about agriculture. It was a holistic way of life, a celestial dialogue between the earth, the gardener, and the cosmos. With each deeper breath, you feel a pulse, rhythmic and grounding. Some believe these moon trails held the secrets of ancestral knowledge, encoded in patterns only visible in night's soft light. Walk now and touch that ancient wisdom still nestled in the soil, leaves, and dewdrops. As the first light spills over the horizon, cast your thoughts back to the Polynesian navigators who read the sky's vast compendium. Their prowess wasn't just skill, it was a sacred science, connecting humanity to the universe's own heartbeat. Could such celestial attunement reveal the lost wisdom of living in perfect harmony with nature? You linger on these sacred trails, the air thick with the echoes of history. These paths are more than mere footsteps. They are stories etched in celestial rhythms and soil memories. Each step you take honors the whispers that shaped the world long before you and will long after. Perhaps, as you stand at dawn's threshold, you're not just leaving ancient trails, but stepping into a timeless dance. These moonlit whispers are a living guide, threading us back to a world where nature's wisdom is never lost, but always waiting, whispered along age-old paths, illuminated by the eternal sky. Beneath the emerging glow of day, you realize these trails don't end with each dawn, but begin anew with every moonrise, an eternal reminder that life's greatest guidance often flickers in the softest parts of twilight. You find yourself drifting down a narrow, winding path where time slows and the rhythm of earth whispers through every root and stone. Ancient gardens await, sustained not by mortal force, but guided by the celestial dance of the moon. Each seed's journey from shadow to light is etched in lunar rhythms. Picture olden Maori terraces, stone walls embraced by verdant crops, basking in the moon's silver touch. Those terraces still stand today, a testament not just to ingenuity, but to cosmic choreography. Imagine the elders walking these very steps beneath night's canopy, their eyes tracing the moon's passage as they whispered, planting secrets to seedlings. Somewhere on this trail, the wind carries a mischievous story. One fringed tale claims the moon's glow could cure nocturnal laziness in plants. Historians chuckle at Maori stories of moonlight-chased vegetables growing faster when serenaded by crickets, perhaps a bit whimsical. But consider how deeply entwined life and myth became in these old gardens. Historians still argue whether moon-blessed herbs once held curative powers unseen, or if those nights were merely moments of sacred trust. You trace fingers through now silent soil, its memory brimming with whispers of midnight plantings and harvest wisdom passed through skyward whispers. Here, each leaf seems to hold the memory of phases past, new moons coaxing tender shoots, waxing quarters swelling roots, and full moons, basking blooms in brilliant light. Can you feel their timeless embrace as they sway, nourished not just by sun, but moon's quiet glow? The night air thrums with a cadence only gardens attuned to the universe could sense. Moonlight-etched paths don't fade at dawn. Their legacy pulses in each verdant tendril, their lives threaded with the dance of celestial whispers. Let yourself imagine those moonbound gardeners. Did their hands feel the ebb and flow of cosmic tides as they knelt in soil bathed by lunar glow? Experts think early Maori navigators may have aligned these moonlit trails with planting seasons. Their celestial map, a living guide. Imagine a path where footsteps fell in sync with cosmic heartbeats. Here, even the ground underfoot seemed to pulse with the stars' timeless lullaby. Walk softly now. Each step honors that ancient choreography as you pause beneath a gnarled old tree, its bark rough and wise from untold lunar cycles. You sense the whispers carried through roots, stories where the boundary between farmer and cosmos blurred beneath the night sky's soft embrace. Each leaf flutters in a rhythm that knows no time. Its dance, a response to eons of cosmic guidance. Historians still debate if moonlit trails were as much for souls seeking celestial communion as for hands tilling soil. Perhaps both paths converged here, a place where earth became a living tapestry, woven with threads of night and day, celestial guidance and earthly labor, intertwined in endless cycles. Ancient gardens knew the secret language of the universe, etched in the subtlest shifts of light. Here at dawn's edge, you feel it too, a pulse beneath your feet, calling back to when gardens were sanctuaries stitched with starlight guidance and moon's gentle hand. Each blossom breathes that enduring rhythm, an echo across generations. Walking these whispering paths, perhaps the true journey lies not beneath the sun, but under midnight's sacred glow. These gardens still hum in their endless dance beneath celestial whispers, a reminder that some stories pulse through soil and soul in tandem with moonlight's guiding hand. As morning kisses the horizon, the trails begin anew. With every moonrise, every planting phase, they remind you that nature's wisdom lies not just in the visible, but in shadows, in that twilight where celestial guidance holds both stories whispered and unseen. In this place, where ancient paths whisper of starry conversations and moonbound rituals, you taste that enduring flavor knowledge passed in lunar glow, etched in starlight and soil. These gardens don't merely exist. They pulse in rhythm with the cosmos, a timeless dance beneath the universe's enduring sky. You pause to breathe in the ancient air, feeling the pulse of the universe around you. The gardens here are a testament to the Maori's deep understanding of lunar cycles, rhythms written in leaves and stars alike. With each exhale, you let the moon's wisdom fill your senses. The Maori didn't just plant, they listened to the celestial symphony. Imagine kneeling by soft earth, your fingers tracing the moon's light as it spilled over seedlings. They believed the moon's glow helped seedlings dream of the sky, nourishing both the body and spirit of crops. Historians still argue whether moon phase planting was more about celestial intuition or simple seasonal cycles. Either way, the gardens thrived, sustained by whispers from above. Walk the sun-warmed paths now, remembering those nights when the moon's voice was the only guidance needed. Feel the stone beneath your feet, each step a link in the chain forged by ancients under star-drenched skies. They say some stones here remember stories older than human imagination. Could it be true? Here, the moon wasn't merely a witness, it was a guide. Some believe the Maori held moon phase feasts, celebrating the celestial partner that whispered harvest secrets. Picture gathering with elders by moon's glow, laughter and wisdom, circling the fire pit beneath a sky scattered with diamonds. The stars felt so close, perhaps winking in approval, each time ripe fruits met waiting hands. Every phase held promise under Maori skies. The thinnest sliver of a new moon cradled hopes for new roots, while the full moon basked harvests in luminous blessings. Historians chuckle at old texts that suggest waxing gibbous might have been considered a harbinger of especially fertile soil. Imagine a gardener squinting at the moon with skepticism when cricket songs swelled, half expecting it to speak outright. Under this same sky, your pulse finds the syncopation of nature's deepest rhythm. Each garden here breathes in time with the cosmos, an unending waltz where moon cycles are but measures. Could this be how the Maori saw it? Steps echoed in soil and starlight, the earth moving gently to cosmic music. Pause now beneath a tree, its leaves tracing ancient rhythms against the sky. This tree has seen millennia of moonrise, each cycle whispering secrets that flow through roots and vines. Experts think that some Maori plantings aligned with solar equinoxes, a dance of light between sun and moon. How many nights they must have watched the skies, plotting growth paths with lunar maps written on water and earth. As you walk, see the Maori's world unfold. Their nights were woven with constellations, guiding hands and heart. Can you feel it? Each step a note in a symphony where the universe plays every instrument. The ancients would nod, the rhythm of heartbeats, mirroring moon cycles, planting songs carried on cosmic breezes. Here, under night's indigo quilt, you're in a place where time slows, where the garden's soul is stitched with threads of both dream and earth. One can't separate the roots from the heavens here, where both sky and soil weave endless cycles. Historians argue whether celestial paths were maps for souls or for seeds. Perhaps it's both, paths intertwining through time's weave. You hear the night breeze, feel the pulse of gardens whispering of ancient harmonies. Did they truly converse with the moon? The trees lean in, telling you their secrets, stories of crops blooming under moon's tender watch. Feel the moon's breath warm your palms as it has for countless nights, this rhythm shared by soil and stars. As you trace the path, the dawn light begins its climb, But here, night still lingers in roots and leaves. The ancient chorus remains, a timeless echo of footsteps that honor the moon's subtle hand. Each moonrise renews the promise, a celestial pact woven into every living thread, an eternal embrace between earth's song and cosmic whispers. Let the moon guide you, even now beyond its phases. You are part of its endless dance. In each cycle, you glimpse the ancient knowledge that pulses beneath you, a garden singing in unison with the stars. Breathe it in, every moon-soaked leaf, every whispered secret of night, a heartbeat echoing across time, the universe's quiet rhythm coursing through your veins. The first light of dawn kisses the horizon, but the gardens here remain bathed in the indigo embrace of night. You feel the ancient heartbeat of the Maori's moon-guided world, still vibrating through tangled roots and moonlit leaves. Each breath you take is a quiet chant, humming in harmony with centuries-old rhythms. In this place, the moon isn't just a distant wanderer, it's a living partner, its whispers woven into every vine. Maori ancestors would often plant beneath its gentle glow, believing moonlight gifted strength to seedlings even while they slept. You might catch them glancing skyward mid-dig, as if consulting old friends above. The gardens speak volumes without words, timeless tales of moon phases etched in their roots. Imagine elders crouched by firelight, tracing celestial maps with sticks, teaching the secrets of planting beneath different phases. Historians still argue whether the lunar planting was sacred science or sacred ritual. Perhaps it was both, a dance of reverence and survival. Pause to touch the rough bark of an old tree. It feels like a weathered history book, its roots gripping stories older than written time. Could this ancient tree bear witness to moon phase harvest festivals? Picture the villagers, laughter ringing as they gathered, feasting under skies spilling stars, each berry and seed a chapter in their cosmic tale. The Maori even had moon phase names, calling the new moon Matangitua, a word as soft as night's embrace. Each name carried meanings about the work of hands and heart, the lunar calendar etched in their daily lives. Some believe there was a forbidden phase, its mention lost when outsiders imposed other measures of time. Historians chuckle at myths of lunar planting bringing fortune, but was it truly just myth? Each stone and sapling here hums with stories of balance. The Maori's life flowed like water through the moon's phases, the night sky as familiar as their own reflections. Can you imagine planting kumara by the waxing moon while crickets serenaded the stars? Legends say certain phases would make the soil itself sing, each root whispering thanks to its celestial guide. Walk slowly. Let your feet trace paths worn smooth by footfalls through millennia. You can almost hear chants rise with the morning mist, planting songs that harmonized with the moon's silvered path. Feel the earth here a living testament to the syncopation of cosmic cycles. Each leaf and seed pulse with the heart of the Maori's infinite embrace. Maori ancestors likely saw their stories reflected in night skies, each constellation whispering harvest secrets between its twinkling stars. You recall their gardens thriving not just by daylight, but moonglow, an endless partnership in the dance of growth. Historians debate whether lunar alignment was a form of agriculture or artistry. But here, each phase of the moon seems to breathe through the gardens, a living echo. Feel the night's cool kiss on your palms. In this place, the moon's rhythms guided not only farming, but the soul itself. Could there be truth in the legends that certain harvests grew more potent beneath the night's tender glow? Imagine the reverence shared beneath moonlit skies as hands planted, hoping for blessings from above. Here, you're part of that ancient chorus, your breath aligned with moon cycles and Maori legacies. Feel the earth's wisdom pulse through every root and sky, each lunar rise renewing bonds written in moonlight. Let the garden's whispers guide you, even as day stretches awake, the moonlight's tender touch lingering in every leafy thread. In each cycle, the rhythm of your steps finds ancient echoes, a connection to the moon's unending dance. Your breath mirrors that of Maori ancestors, their wisdom flowing through the cosmic pulse embedded in earth and sky. As dawn unfolds, remember the stories held by shadows, the songs carried by moonlight, a rhythm that binds past and present in the heartbeat of the universe. Feel the promise in each leaf's flutter, the universe's song carried by moon whispers and star dust. The gardens breathe with this cosmic pulse, each cycle a verse in a timeless tune, your spirit weaving through its endless measures. Let the Maori's lunar harmony guide you. Even as dawn rises, the moonlight's rhythm forever pulsing in your veins. The moon now dips below the horizon, surrendering its celestial role to the embrace of dawn. You breathe deeply, every inhalation resonating with the whispers you've heard. This place holds memories of those who looked to the sky, who understood each star's story and etched it into their grounds. Feel the night's residual coolness cradle you. You're not alone on this silent path. Even with the first light, whispers of ancient knowledge linger, carried on the gentlest breeze. Here, where moonlight once held answers, a seamless bridge remains, a connection to all who have tilled, believed, and nurtured beneath those luminous phases. Imagine the quiet wisdom of countless elders, their hands guiding seeds, each movement an echo through time. The moon's rhythmic guidance still dances among the leaves and soil, a comforting presence you can almost touch. The trees, old and steadfast, are quiet witnesses. Their branches sway slowly, almost knowingly, as if cradling you in ancestral grace. Pause. Let your thoughts drift like leaves unfurling to a sun that's yet to rise. Even as the stars fade, the pulse of that infinite dance continues, steady, grounding, ancient. In every soft rustle, there's a reminder of unity, a blend of star dust and earthly breath that envelops you. With eyes closed, feel the lingering embrace of moonlight in the whispers underfoot. Here, As darkness softly surrenders, the stories of the garden echo. They are not just tales of harvest, but of hearts living in rhythm with celestial whispers. Each root, each leaf, every blade of grass pulses gently in this grand, cosmic lullaby. Let the peace of those who came before seep into your spirit. Their legacy, bathed in moonglow, entwines with yours, creating a fabric of timelessness. Feel reassured that just as the moon rises and sets, cycles return, bringing wisdom, comfort, and a continuity that spans beyond the skies. As dawn continues its gentle stretch, let the last whispers of night embrace you. Carry with you the quiet hum of the universe, the breath of moonlight, and the root's silent song forward into daybreak. This ancient harmony sings softly now, a lullaby guiding you even as day begins, the cosmic pulse forever a gentle whisper in your heart.